Hi, welcome to Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections. It is Tuesday, May 21st. It is 4:32, and we're going to get started. We do have a quorum here with myself, Councilmember Cash, Councilmember Evans, Councilmember Lee, Vice Chair Prepty, and Councilmember Toombs. There is no one signed up for public comment, so we will go straight into the consent agenda. If anything needs to be pulled from consent, please let me know. I'll read out the item number first and then the caption. So first is, on consent is item number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does anything need to be pulled off consent? Items 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so first is RS 2024-473 by Lee, Gadd, Stiles, and others, a resolution supporting the decision of Metropolitan Nashville Public Schools to not allow teachers or staff to carry firearms on campus. RS 2024-475 by Coupin, Gadd, Huffman, and others, recognizes May 2024 as Jewish American Heritage Month. RS 2024-476 by Gadd, Stiles, Welsh, and others, recognizes May 20 through 28, 2024 as a period poverty awareness week in Nashville and Davidson County. RS 2024-477 by Bradford, Huffman, Welsh, and others, recognizes May 22nd, 2024 as Harvey Milk Day in Nashville and Davidson County. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right. 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. All right. Next is bills on second reading. First up is Bill 2024-343 by Stiles, Coupin, Easlick, and others, amends Chapter 2.112 of the Metropolitan Code of Law regarding the membership of Metropolitan Nashville Arts Commission and the process for approving the criteria for awarding funds. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And there is an amendment here, and Councilmember Allen is present. Is one of the main sponsors present? You'll sign on?
No.
Okay. Almost got you there.
I was going to say this was deferred one meeting in budget.
Okay. Was the amendment too? Okay. Do we want to defer one meeting? So I need a motion.
So moved to defer one meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Next is BL 2024-344 by Stiles, Coupin, Easlick, and others, amend sections 2.147.030 of the Metropolitan Code regarding the section of members to the Nashville Music, Film, and Entertainment Commission. This does not have an amendment. Is one of the sponsors here. Was this deferred in budget?
This is all the budget. It went to parks.
It went to Parks, and I think they're meeting now, so we could potentially defer it to.
Move to defer one meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. All right, next is the late items, late filed amendment BL 2024-354 by Porterfield, an ordinance approving a term extension of contract 408246 between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Reynolds Construction LLC for the
Biosolids.
That's it. I need to read. Facilities fixture design and build project. Councilmember Porterfield, thank you for being here. What is the reason for the late filing?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was actually filed on time. However, there was a page that was accidentally not uploaded, so that is why it is being late filed. It was a technical error.
Can it wait?
That would be a question for Director Darby. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Honeysucker, if I may recognize him. If you can recognize him.
She does.
I can step in here just because I've spoken with the legal department about this. They have said that the item, it's this and the following item both have the late amendments on it. that they could potentially be deferred one meeting in order to have the amendments put on timely. So the legislation itself was timely filed, but there was, like Councilmember Porterfield was saying, there was a kind of a technical glitch somewhere between submitting all of the documents and having them uploaded into Legistar. And so we don't know if it was the upload that created the glitch or if it was a person that did it, but this is simply an amendment to make sure that the attachment to the resolution is complete.
Okay. I'm good with deferring one meeting for it to be timely filed and the amendments be put on. I don't know how the rest of the committee feels. All right. Yeah, can I get a motion or is there any
Well, I was
discussion?
gonna say for a technical error, I'm fine with it being late filed, so we can move along. But I understand wanting things to be timely, but this is a technical error. Like it was timely technically, but for that one page that got left off.
But there's gonna be an amendment, is that?
That is the amendment.
Oh, this is the amendment, okay. Any other opinions, discussions you had about brewing? All right,
So we're gonna be voting,
there's no motion.
okay.
It's just whether it's okay or not.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I mean, we haven't made a motion, so if everyone's okay with it, then an emotion to
Move to
approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Second one is late file amendment to BL 2024-355 by Porterfield, an ordinance granting the purchasing agent the authority to extend the term of a contract number 459172 between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Department of Water and Sewerage Service and CDM Smith. Same? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you rewind 5 minutes, is the exact same explanation that Director Darby gave.
All right, can I get, is there any discussion? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. All right. Next, we're moving on to boards and confirmations and board and commission elections. Candidates in this category will be subject to recommendation for vote by the Rules, Confirmation, and Public Elections Committee and an election by the council. Oh, you're ready. All right.
Couldn't wait to get to the seat.
Oh, got it. So, actually, the first one up is CATV Special Committee. Nominees under this consideration by the Rules, Confirmation, and Public Elections Committee to fill a vacancy for a term expiring March 1st, 2027, with an election to be held on May 21st, 2024 council meeting, which is today. So, first one up is Alan Williams.
Well,
That ain't you.
good Alan.
Yeah, so first one up is
Let's
Alan
get
Williams.
Alan.
Yes.
This is the second time this has come before this committee, and so you've already interviewed
Got
Mr.
it.
Williams.
So now it's just a recommendation.
Yes.
All right, so we interviewed Miss Alan Williams, nominated by council member Jeff Easlake. The interview was 5/7/2024. So, can I get a motion for approval?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. The second one was withdrawn, and this was Gregory Welsh. All right,
Hey, can I ask a question?
yes.
Sorry, I think we're getting into a new system here a little bit. So did we vote on Alan Williams 2 weeks ago?
We did take a vote.
Like, why are we voting twice?
So, at the last meeting, and again, this is a new process, the new rule. We haven't quite made it through a full cycle of what the new rule is gonna look like. So the first time an appointee or nominee comes before the committee, there will be an interview. And essentially, the way I interpreted the vote at the last meeting was the vote to re-refer back to committee pursuant to the rule.
Okay. So,
Wait,
okay, there's a part of me that wants, we have so many each time, there's a part of me that would like to see, if we're gonna take a second vote on a person, to see what the first vote was, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess we can
Yeah, okay.
keep the minutes from, I don't know.
Yeah, we could get the minutes from last committee meeting in the future.
We can, what I can do for the next meeting, not this one obviously, is on your agenda to put that notation on there.
Right.
We can get that on there.
Great. Thank you.
All right, next is Board and Commission appointees and nominees. Candidates in this category will appear before the Rules, Confirmation, and Public Elections Committee to determine the relative qualifications of the candidate. First one up here is the Auditorium Commission appointment of Fletcher Foster for a term expiring on June 30, 2027.
Just tell them I'm Alan.
Now you're here. All right. Would you like a bus pass or a parking validation?
A parking validation would be great.
All right.
Am I dead now?
You will go
Failed the
first.
first one.
So just as an FYI for everyone coming before the committee today that will be interviewed, you will not be up for a vote tonight at the council meeting. You will be up for a vote at the next council meeting. You are not required to come to the next council meeting. You are only required to appear before this board. If you would like to come to the next council meeting, you are more than welcome to come. We will clap for you and salute you on. So, all right. That's the process. All right, do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you serve on any other metro boards and commissions?
No.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving?
About 6 years ago, I was on the CVB Commission, termed out of that, and then started it immediately the following year into the Metro Auditorium Commission, and I've been there for the last couple of years and have really enjoyed it. Don is doing a great job over there at the auditorium, and Blake, who's chairing it, is a good friend of mine that's been in the business for a long time.
Great, thank you so much. Will you commit to promoting equity while serving on the board?
Absolutely.
Great. Committee members, any questions?
And,
Council member?
thank you. So you said that you've been on boards previously.
Correct, before this one.
Okay, perfect. And do you have any concerns on being able to make the time requirement for? Okay.
It's been easy.
All right, any other questions?
I have one. What do you have a vision for the auditorium?
Yes.
Okay.
We would like Yes.
Tell me more.
No. Yes, we, Blake, who you'll be talking to here, he's had an amazing vision of doing some upgrades. We've done several on the bottom level in the offices already, but we'd really love to do a substantial upgrade to the outside of the building too, and that's kind of where our head's at going forward.
I see. Thank you.
Any other questions by committee members? Can I get a motion to re-refer to the next council meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up next is the Auditorium Commission appointment of Benjamin McDaniel for a term expiring on June 30, 2027. Is Mr. McDaniel here? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like a parking validation or a bus
Would
pass?
love one.
Oh, which
Parking
one?
validation.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other metro boards and commissions?
I do not.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving?
I'm Blake McDaniel. I've been in the entertainment industry for 24 years. I've actually been on the commission for about 10 now. We were able to take the auditorium from operating at about a 25-year deficit to operating with a profit. With one deal that we were able to do with Live Nation about 7 years ago, and we've been operating in a profit ever since. We've got big plans for it. We want to do a major overhaul, and we've been doing due diligence on that. We're looking to do a feasibility study, and then we've got an idea in mind where we could bring a partner to the table that would partner with the city itself, would provide all of the funding and financing for it without the city having to do anything, and then do a massive overhaul and I think restore the municipal auditorium to the prominence it deserves. So that's been my long-term goal. As soon as I accomplish that goal, I will be asking to be relieved from this, to be quite honest with you. But I would like to see this through to the end. So that is why I would like to serve.
Great, thank you so much. Do you commit to promoting equity while serving on the board?
Absolutely.
Will you be able to make the time commitment?
Yes.
All right, any other questions? Yes.
What's the sweet spot on attendance at municipal?
You're about at the 6,000 mark, depending
Okay.
on how you set it up and how you configure it.
Okay,
But it's about 6,000.
thank you.
Any other questions?
You said that you've been serving on this board, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Sorry, just within your questionnaire, it did ask about the ethics acknowledgement, and right here you marked no. Have you previously signed the ethics acknowledgement?
I think I have. If I haven't, I apologize. I'd love to sign it right now, but
Yeah, if you could just talk to Kyle, who you received the email from, just to
Got
double
it.
check.
okay. That email actually went to my wrong account. I didn't get notified of this meeting until yesterday just because we had a mix-up with my email account. So that's probably had something to do with it, but I'll take care of that for sure.
Yes.
I do have a quick one. You asked if you would be willing to promote equity.
Absolutely.
And what does that look like to you?
Well, there's equity and diversity within the staff itself, I think. That's really important. We've done that. Tanisha Alexander, a woman of color who was working at the ticket office. We were very intentional about grooming her up to an assistant general manager position because we thought that her voice needed to be in the day-to-day operations, and we did that. We have hired minorities, and we have hired one trans person as well. And so it's diversity is very important to us. And then we're also leaning into the diversity of entertainment as well. And so we've been speaking with Live Nation, and we've actually brought in, I think we do pretty well bringing in diverse artists as well, because we have a diverse population and we should be serving them. So
Thank you.
absolutely, thank you for the question.
Okay. Any other questions from committee members? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? For a re-referral to the next council meeting. All right. 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next is the Auditorium Commission appointment of the Honorable Nancy Van Rees for a term expiring on June 30, 2027.
Those questions out now.
Would you like a parking validation or a bus pass?
I want a bus pass.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah, I still got it.
All right, thank you. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other metro boards and
I
commissions?
do not.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving?
Well, I think a lot of the folks here I've been able to serve with on the Metro Council. I served 8 years, 2 terms. 8 years on, 8 months out, so I'm a recovering council member. One of the things that I wanted to do is find the right board or commission to be able to re-plug in and to do some real work. And you may recall when I was on the council, I did quite a bit with the Sports Authority and with the Sports Council on bringing professional women's sports to Nashville, and worked with a number of folks, particularly on the Women's Caucus, but also others that have coached women and girls in sports about the necessity of Nashville has spent billions of dollars on sports in this town, but none of it on women, and we needed to be more intentional on that. So it was sort of picked up that flag, and knowing that there is a major interest in bringing professional women's sports to Nashville, both the buzz around basketball is there, but also volleyball and softball. There's lots of different ways we can do that. But particularly in basketball and volleyball, we've had folks visit the municipal auditorium for opportunities to do something there. I will make one correction on the capacity. I think that 6,000 feels full, but you can get 9 in there. But there's a lot of work to be done. I think that as we continue to look at opportunities for investment on kind of upgrading the interior, that we do so in such a way that professional sports league is at the table during that regard, so that we not only have something that works well in season, but continues to answer the equity question to be Nashville's place to go. I mean, we have had a lot of high school graduations going on in there now, and there's always something going on. The circus is there. It is Nashville's hometown venue, and we want to keep it that way. And so, and when I was approached by Mayor O'Connell to kind of participate in the future of the municipal auditorium, I said, absolutely. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you so much. Do you commit to promoting equity while serving on the board?
Yes.
Will you be able to make the time requirement?
Yes.
All right.
I got one question. Talking about the attendance or the capacity, so from your perspective, like, is municipal sizable enough to be able to potentially host, you know, like women's basketball?
Bring the W?
Yeah.
Just go ahead, say it.
Yeah.
I do know, I just returned from Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut, saw a Connecticut Sun game. Their coach of the year, Stephanie White, lives in Nashville, and she coaches in Connecticut. There was, that location seats 9,000, and it was packed and felt great. Atlanta has 8,000. I think as the league grows, new franchises are going to be asked for more, but our relationship with Bridgestone allows us growth. And so, again, the idea of having whatever happens at Nashville Municipal Auditorium be for Nashvillians first. And the idea of having professional teams to be able to communicate and work with our girls and high schoolers and middle schoolers and playing during the year, having opportunities like that, I think are great value. But so hopefully that answers your.
It does.
You know, there's all kinds of opportunities, but you know, Nashville's. You know, I'm gonna go for the W whatever.
Councilmember?
Just a quick question. Have we been in contact or in conversation with any of the teams, or is this just a great goal?
The city officially has not. There are paths forward.
Okay, good. Well, you've done a great, I have to say, working 4 years with Councilor Reese, she did a great job. She had a lot of respect, and really appreciate everything you did. So you got my support. Thank you.
If it's possible, we want to make sure it happens, so.
Great. Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion to re-refer to the next council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you. Up next is the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission appointment of John Norris for a term expiring on May 1st, 2028. Mr. Norris?
Yes.
Would you like a parking validation or a bus pass?
Bus pass.
All right. We got the last one. We got to stock up now.
I would have ridden my bicycle, but it was a little warm and I wasn't sure what condition I'd be in when I arrived, so.
Mr. Norris, do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other Metro boards and commissions?
I do not.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving?
Well, my family moved to Nashville in 1957, and I attended Aiken Elementary School and walked to school for 10 years and thought it was good for me, enjoyed it. And in my professional life, I was an attorney, and I began in the 1990s to commute to work by bicycle. And I like that too. I think it's great to be able to leave one's car at home and get places under one's own power. I was a founding member of Walk Bike Nashville. I was appointed by Mayor Dean to be the first chair of the Bicycling and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and I've been an active supporter of walking and biking in Nashville for decades. It's really an important time here to support, to make Nashville more walkable, bikeable, and livable. You've got health issues. Active people tend to live longer and be healthier. You've got just enjoyment of life, recreation. You've got building community. You've got building relationships. But a particular issue I want to mention here is affordability. Nashville has reached an affordability crisis, and there's a big focus on affordable housing. I get that. The trouble with affordable housing is it's really expensive to build. The second biggest expense most people have is their car. Looking at online sources, it costs close to $1,000 a month for most people to have a car. Between the car payment, fuel, maintenance, insurance, and if we can enable many more Nashvillians to get around without a car, or just one car per household, we can make a huge difference. I've got this map here that shows the City Central Greenway, which is partly completed, but completing that would greatly facilitate safe transportation. Greenways are safe, they're usable. A lot of people, including the young lady I was talking here in this room recently, mentioned that they're uncomfortable being there with traffic. They want a protected bike lane or a greenway, they're away from cars. So I think it's very important, and I'll work hard for that. As far as making committee meetings, the only one I've got some question about is one tonight, because it's at 5 o'clock and I'd have to get to East Nashville. But if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Well, 2 questions. Do you commit to promoting equity while serving on the board?
Absolutely.
Will you be able to make the time commitment?
Absolutely, except tonight's meeting could be tough.
Well, you wouldn't be
I
confirmed
won't be
tonight.
confirmed, but I was going to go there as an
Next week,
observer.
2 weeks, you'll be confirmed.
Okay, okay.
All right, questions? Yes.
I don't have a question as much as Ms. Norris was here for us two meetings ago, and I was very impressed then. And we had 2 good candidates that night, and I'm glad that the mayor saw fit to recommend you for appointment. And I agree with what you said about affordability. You know, big part of it's getting salaries of folks up. But I appreciate your thoughtfulness on that issue.
Any other, yes?
I really appreciate that you are bringing kind of the greenways connection to the conversation, because that would be, I know there's been a lot of tension around the idea of greenways being like a, way for people to get around, but I really appreciate that you're bringing that to this and hope that you can have a strong voice in that conversation.
I do too. Let me mention one thing. There's been some issue about e-bikes on greenways. And I've been a diehard under my own power person my whole life, but I'm coming around to the e-bike point of view, and that's a factor that I think can make a big difference. Lots and lots of people will use an e-bike for transportation who won't use a self-powered bicycle for a lot of reasons, including wanting to get places not being disheveled. I mean, I'm really optimistic about going forward.
All right, any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, can I get a motion for re-referral to the next meeting?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
I am going to step away, but Vice Chair Preti is going to take over.
Thank you. Next we have a Board of Health reappointment of Carolyn Ziegler for a term expiring on January 9th, 2029. Ms. Ziegler, would you like a parking validation? Sure.
That's my only option.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, I do.
And are you currently on any other boards or commissions?
No, sir, I'm not.
Tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Board of Health.
So I am a family nurse practitioner. I worked at Meharry for almost 20 years, and then left in COVID wore me out, so I left like everyone else after COVID. And I teach at the School of Nursing. I recently launched a lab, which is a climate health energy equity lab out of Vanderbilt. So we try to find ways to address health issues within the community for low-income communities through carbon offsets. And then I've served for the last 7 months with the board, and I've really enjoyed my time there. I think Nashville has tremendous potential to really achieve health equity. We have amazing people working in the department now. There's a lot of political will around it, I think, and so I would love to stay on, so I can see that through.
Could you talk to us a little bit about like how you approach a mindset of having health in all policies?
Yeah, so I really, it starts for me with environment and social determinants, right? So that's kind of how I think about it. And specifically, I think some of the biggest needs we have in Nashville, as a practitioner, seeing patients in their homes mostly, is economic instability, and especially around housing. So I can treat someone for hypertension and give them all the medications, but if they are stressed about getting evicted or losing their home, there's not much I can do about that. So the things I see that are the biggest issues are heat, and a lot of people don't have AC, which is really deadly for people, bad air quality, which is worsened by heat and climate change, and then that housing instability. But then all heat, makes community violence worse. So I think all these things really relate. And I think when we try to disarticulate health from all the other commissions and boards, we really do ourselves a disservice. Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, just, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, could you go tell MDHA that about heat and that connection? And that's like an ongoing challenge, and I don't know how the Board of Health could potentially play a role in advocacy around that issue, but really, we need to look at the state and kind of the Uniform Landlord Residential Tenant Act specifically, because, you know, residents don't have that protection. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about that issue, but I just got triggered around that. But can you, I guess one question, you've been on the board for 7 months, and so when you talk about, I think you said we have a lot of opportunity, what are some things that you have learned about that you feel like we could be focusing more on as a city?
I think so. Well, this is something that just shocked me when I learned we don't have an electronic health record. So we're working on that, but we need that to be able to get data to know and for people to not fall through the cracks. This thing I see on the ground that is the most stressful for people really is housing. And so however we can collaborate to work on, whether it's, you know, the project we did through the Climate Lab was getting funding for home weatherization upgrades through a carbon offset program. We worked with Westwood Baptist Church. So I think there's a lot of people working on that issue now. We just need more widespread collaboration. Sorry. Yes, that too. But I just think, it's more of sort of a broad overview and really thinking about environment, climate change, being sustainable, and really building that together. I think we're making great strides, but we just need to keep pushing.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment, and looking through your resume, amazing. Thanks for wanting to be involved. Sounds like you're a very busy person.
Thank you.
So I mean, it's pages, so great experience and balance. Thanks.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the Human Relations Commission is considering consideration of nominees to fill 6 vacancies for a term expiring April 18th, 2027, with an election to be held on June 4th, 2024. So the first one up that we have is Garlinda Burton, nominated by Councilmember Russ Bradford.
We had asked that she be moved to the end. She's on the way, and she should be here momentarily.
We'll roll that to the hill.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we have Duran Johnson, nominated by Councilmember Emily Benedict. Darren Johnson. Question here. Do you currently live here in Davidson County?
I do.
And what's the other question? What's the other question I'm supposed to? Oh, yeah. Are you a registered voter? Thanks for the assist. So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
Well, I think I have been involved on a variety of fronts with community work and have advocated strongly over that time, as a matter of fact, for the role of community members in a variety of spaces. As a matter of fact, in my work through the VA on the Institutional Review Board there, I've actually had the opportunity to talk 2 or 3 times nationally sort of about the need to fill, quote unquote, the empty chair, right? And how it's an obligation of folks, if they have the time, the space, in their schedules, to really consider taking those opportunities when they come. And this is an opportunity that was graciously put in front of me by Councilperson Benedict. And given my work in the LGBTQ space, with the disabled communities and the veterans communities, and then also with Neighbor to Neighbor, this really felt like a natural step in that work because the work of the council involves a piece of each of those things as well, potentially. So it felt like a good way to integrate that prior experience into one space and to live up to the call that I myself has made, which is if there is an opportunity in a space to then take advantage, to avail oneself of that or make oneself available for that.
Let me go to Councilmember Benedict, then I'll go to the committee.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So I nominated Ms. Johnson. I have known her for 10 plus years, and she is a a servant. She has always taken a thoughtful approach through her experience as a pastor. She actually came and did an invocation for us last term. And I think what's most important on the Metro Human Relations Commission, that we have representation from the LGBTQ community. And so I think that that's going to bring in a new perspective. And so I hope that we will gain support for her.
Any questions from the committee? No? Right, seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And this for a re-referral for next meeting. Thank you.
Parking pass or?
Parking pass,
Oh,
if you
yes,
don't
my
mind.
apologies, yeah, that's,
Parking
yeah.
pass.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
First one we did.
Okay. Next, we have Whitney Pastrick, nominated by Councilmember Sean Parker.
Yeah, who's not here to say nice things about me?
We can say a loud boo for him, that's all right.
Horrific
Yes.
constituent services. Hi, everybody.
And did I pronounce your name?
You did. It rhymes, yes, rhymes with asterisk.
So, Ms. Pastrick, do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes.
And are you a registered voter?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
Of course. I've been a resident of Davidson County for almost exactly 10 years. In that time, I've had the privilege of getting to know people across this entire city, both through my work in the music business and with my copious volunteer work on campaigns ranging from Sean Parker to Vincent Dixie to Charlene Oliver to our fine mayor, Freddie O'Connell. On top of that, I've worked with Equity Alliance, I've worked with Turk, I've worked with Conexión Americas. I did a lot of work providing meals across the entire county during the pandemic through World Central Kitchen. All that is to say, I've had the privilege of experiencing the fullness of our community and the richness. And in a time when protections are being rolled back for the fullness and the richness of our community, it's imperative to me that I find specific, direct ways to help my neighbors. And I feel like MHRC would be a great place to do that.
Perfect. Any questions from the committee?
Do you have opinions about things? And are you willing to share them?
I would like to say that I'm getting better at moderating those opinions based upon the situation. But yes, I have extremely strong opinions and I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and I'm not afraid to defend somebody wholeheartedly against bullies and oppressors.
That has been my experience. Thank you.
Okay. I have, yes. Chair Tibbs.
No, I just wanted to speak on behalf of Ms. Pastrick. I have worked in the same circles with her in community over the years, and she's always very passionate, always willing to work for the least of us and to make sure that there's equity and equal access to resources, and so she would be a good addition.
Thank you, Councilmember, that means a lot.
Would you like a parking validation?
I would love a parking validation. Because I'm good, but not good enough to ride my bike here yet.
Seeing no other
Thanks, y'all.
questions, do we have a motion? Oh, wait, give me one second.
Oh, Whitney, I don't think you finished.
Oh, I still have to stay here.
Move to,
I think you had a question. Yeah,
sorry.
Councilmember
A
Druffel.
motion to,
Motion for a referral, yes.
Okay,
I thought you had a
second.
question.
All right, moved and properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? Gonna go 7 in favor, 0 not voting, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Cool.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Chair,
Director.
Garlinda Burton has arrived.
Okay.
You want to go back to?
Yes, we'll go back to Garlinda Berlin on page 5 of the agenda. Hi, Ms. Berlin, thank you for being here.
Hey there.
So we'll go ahead and jump into it. Are you a resident of Davidson County?
I am.
And are you a registered voter?
I am.
Okay. And would you like a parking validation?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
Well, I'm very concerned that Nashville live into the promise that it has as the IT city, and we're I'm seeing more and more people from different backgrounds and different economic circumstances, family systems coming into town, and I feel like sometimes Nashville has not caught up yet with what it means to be a truly multicultural, multi-class, and a generational, international city. And so I want to be a part of the change that I think we need. I've spent most of my life in anti-racism, anti-sexism, homophobia, and heterosexism education. And for the United Methodist Church. I just retired after 43 years with them. And so, yeah, and so I would love to continue that work in my own city.
Perfect. I like that answer. Any questions from the committee?
That's longevity.
Yeah, old age we like to call it. But okay.
I'll say, having grown up in the United Methodist Church, I can appreciate your years of service.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Do we have a motion for a re-referral?
Yes. Second.
All right, moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Not voting? 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, and here's your parking validation.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, going back to, yes.
If I can please, Garlinda Burton being trans are actually reappointments.
Oh,
And I think that's significantly different than first-time appointment. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
Do we need to do the motion again, or just?
I think we're
No,
should be
okay.
good, yeah. Because we'll take it up at the next meeting for actual adoption to the council floor. Okay, next is a nomination of Heather Riddle by Councilmember Jeff Gregg.
Hello, y'all. Hi.
Would you like a parking validation?
I would love one, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Are you currently a resident of Davidson County?
Yes, sir, I am.
And are you a registered voter?
I am.
Okay, tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on this commission.
Well, specifically tonight would have been my leadership program graduation, and one of the things that we're learning through Elevate is that we need to serve in our community. I moved here almost 8 years ago now, and since becoming involved with the Chamber of Commerce of Donaldson Hermitage, I have really fallen in love with this whole area. And one of the things that I would really love to do is serve. I am an Enneagram 2, I am a servant, and I have never served on a commission or board before, but that is my wish. Specifically this one, I read of the vacancies and saw human relations and saw that it was about discrimination. And I grew up, I have congenital birth defects, and I grew up having issues with that and being bullied, and so I'm an advocate. You were talking about someone having a voice for others that don't necessarily have a voice for themselves. That's what I would love to do, is potentially be that voice.
I appreciate that, because a lot of conversations that I have in the community is about disability visibility and how a lot of folks are sometimes, especially in my district, out of sight and out of mind. So making sure we're lending a voice to that. So I can appreciate that perspective. Let me go to Councilmember Gregg since this is the person that you nominated.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to say to the committee?
Absolutely. I echo what Heather said. She's a true leader. I have the privilege of knowing her as a friend, a volunteer, and a community leader. And I will say the one thing that I think is unique about Heather is she has a very natural ability to look at someone's situation through their eyes, not hers. We work together on a professional level. She refers mental health clients to the agency that I work for. And I see the compassion that she shows for others in a very respectful way. And I think that and her ability to see the lens, through the lens of that person, makes her uniquely qualified to serve.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to echo Councilmember Gregg's sentiments. I've gotten to know Heather from her work at Hermitage Hills Baptist, which has historically been a church that really invited people in, and she was a huge part of that because she was the one bringing organizations, to come and essentially be at her at her location through a variety of different channels, orchestra, chamber, schools, all kinds of things. And she's a dynamo, and she is out to really engage with the community, and I greatly appreciate that about her. And I'm very sorry you're missing your graduation, because it's the culmination of like
A year.
Yes, of this leadership program that I've been through and Councilmember Greg has, and I'm sorry, but that just shows your dedication really to wanting to serve more, so I appreciate you being here.
This is more important.
Anything else?
I would just want to say, I don't think I can match the praise of my colleagues, but I do want to add that I appreciate your resume being a little larger than others. Easy to read. Like I struggle with some of the small fonts.
It's filling a page.
I think for us aged people, that's, yeah.
Yes.
Anything else? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank y'all.
Next, we have the nomination of Shane Burkett by Councilmember Ellis. Would you like parking validation?
Parking validation.
Mr. Burkett, are you a resident of Davidson County?
I am.
And are you a registered voter?
I am.
And do you currently serve on any other boards or commissions?
I do not.
So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on this.
Sure. I've been in Nashville for 30 years. I moved here right at 1996, right after college. Nashville has been amazing to me. I've worked with the LGBTQ community. I served as the vice president of the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce when it became the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. I'm very integrated in the community, both from a teacher, trainer, working with the community to help them understand the importance of sensitivity and how to connect with people from different backgrounds, different faiths, different skin colors, everywhere that we can go to appreciate our diversity and to appreciate our differences and celebrate them.
Thank you, and I'm gonna go to Councilmember Ellis.
I just hope that you all support. I won't take up your time. I would just echo what he says and say that we need him. And I'm thankful that he is willing to serve if you also choose to support him.
Thank you.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Mr. Michael Berger, nominated by Councilmember Linder. Would you like a parking validation?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Berger, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
I am.
Okay, and are you a registered voter?
Excuse me?
Are you a registered voter?
I am.
Okay, and do you serve on any other boards or commissions?
I do not currently.
Okay, so tell us why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
I'm a 32-year resident of Nashville. I'm a husband and father, but I think more significantly for this position, I'm an attorney. I've been a practicing attorney for 43 years. I spent the last 32 years of my career at Nissan as Labor Employment Counsel. I have recently retired, so I have lots of time on my hands. I think I have lots of good skills that I could bring to the commission. While at Nissan, I was responsible for the human resources policies. So I drafted the EEO policy, I've drafted the employment policy, I've drafted every human resources policy that they have at Nissan. Of course, I'm not the only person who was involved in doing that. It was part of a larger group of folks under a delegation of authority. But I try to persuade my colleagues that it's important to be inclusive, to have equity, to put themselves in the shoes of the hourly workers. I think I was listened to very frequently. I have strong people skills. I'm a good listener. I'm a very good facilitator. So if there are multiple opinions, and I know with the commission there's a diversity of opinion. I know there's a diversity of opinion in Metro. And I think I have a talent to let people speak, but help them come to consensus. I think that it looks like after a couple of months, the last couple of months, that may be a skill that would be valued in the commission. I have time, and after being a professional for 43 years, I'd like to spend more time giving back to the community. Because of my skills, I think this role would be a good role for me, and would be an asset to the commission and to Metro in general.
Councilmember Weiner.
Thank you. Frankly, I could not have shared any advocacy better than what you just heard and what you've read in his resume. It speaks for everything that is of interest and needed on HRC, and I couldn't think of a better candidate. In addition to support the other really good candidates that we've got, I think this is a really good day for HRC.
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any not voting? We've got 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Todd McKinney, nominated by Councilmember or Chair Jones.
I'll see if he's on. You're up.
Evening, good evening.
Good evening, thank you for being here. Would you like a parking nomination?
Of course, yeah.
Perfect.
I'll take it.
So, Mr. McKinney, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions?
No.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
I love it in Nashville, and I'd be honored to serve in this capacity. You know, I've been a resident in Nashville for 27 years or so. Born and raised in Tennessee, grew up in Knoxville, went away to school and came back and settled in Nashville. You know, and I've raised my family here. 3 kids all the way through the public school system. You know, 2 of them went to MTSU, 1 finished at Vanderbilt. We are invested in Nashville. We love it here. We've been successful here, but I realize it ain't perfect for everybody. And it's not, you know, no place is. No place is perfect for everybody all the time. And so, you know, professionally, I'm an auditor by trade, and you know, I serve at the state of Tennessee as an inspector general, which means we do all kinds of program integrity related activity. I oversee contract monitoring, fraud, you know, code of conduct violations, protected class complaints. And you know, I really feel like I can serve the commission in this capacity, just, you know, just my passion for Nashville and professional experience for program integrity. And I'd be honored to serve.
Thank you. Chair Toombs?
So, Human Relations Commission is a independent body that really ensures that we are a equitable city, that we are treating residents, employees, whomever, fairly as a government. I think that with Todd's work, like, no one knows how to get to the bottom of things better than an auditor. And, you know, thinking about the work that the staff does and, you know, their investigations, generating reports that they submit to the commission, I feel like Todd would add a very thorough and analytical perspective to those discussions, making sure that the work that the commission's doing is thorough, that they basically haven't left any stone unturned, because that's what he does in his regular work. So I think that he would be a very good addition to the commission.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee?
Have you ever been in any leadership programs?
Oh, yes.
Are you missing graduation?
Not my graduation. but yeah, I am. But honored to be here.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have the nomination of Ben Tran by Councilmember Vo. Hey, Mr. Tran, would you like a parking validation?
I would love one.
Perfect. Here we go. So, Mr. Tran, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes.
And have you do you currently serve on any other Metro boards or commissions?
Nope, just the MHRC right now.
Okay. So currently on the
Yes.
MHRC. Okay. So tell us why you want to continue serving on MHRC.
I've seen it at work and I believe in it. Everything from language access to our investigative report on Metro Arts. I've seen it at work. I've seen the trenches. I think Davey and Ashley still want to work with me, so, and I want to work with them. But besides knowing and seeing how things are done and the significance of our work, I just simply believe that the public is for the public. Access, resources, opportunities should be for everyone, but in terms of how we define the public or what belongs to the public is a different question. And I feel like, unfortunately, de facto, it's typically inequities that are social forces and financial sources that drive a lot of it, and it requires a lot of work to swim against that de facto inequity.
I like that. I'm going to have some follow-up questions, but I'm going to go to Councilmember Vo.
Okay, yes, thank you so much, committee, for recognizing me, even though I'm not on the committee. But I'm very proud to nominate Dr. Tran. He's been a very active community member, his family, and I think it's so important to have community members. And when we're looking at the data, I don't have enough District 17 constituents serving on boards and commissions, and it's really important to me to continuously support my constituents, and I'm very grateful that I have Dr. Tran, who's already been serving and wants to continue to serve, and I think it would be a great example I can show to other constituents that they can do it too. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just going to follow up really quickly, just based off of your experience. Could you talk a little bit more about sort of what are some of the barriers that MHRC is facing and how to sort of continue moving beyond those and to achieve what it is that you're setting out to achieve?
We need more money to have more manpower, right? Our staff is overtaxed. The Metro Arts investigation basically occupied our entire bandwidth. And so if there was another investigation that was filed, then we wouldn't have had the capacity to carry on that work. I do believe that the history of MHRC is significantly important in that it's part of the Civil Rights Act. And so that when desegregation happened, that to ensure that states and cities followed those desegregation laws, that these commissions would regulate kind of the federal money coming down. So I do think it is a public venue and access for people in the community to voice their concerns and to have this autonomous body do these investigations. So limitations, I think, are in terms of just, there's a lot of important work that needs to be done in the city. Everything from what does a conflict of interest mean, to funding, to the de facto or indirect consequences of something. So resources is one, and then I think there's so much more room to grow. And as Nashville grows, we don't know how it's growing necessarily. Because I grew up in Atlanta, and so Atlanta has all kinds of problems like traffic jams popping up everywhere. But we don't know how the inequities play out in different places, so we don't know everything yet, right? So we need more ears on the ground to know what's going on and to basically also let the public know that we are here for them.
Anything from the committee? Yes.
You're currently serving as vice chair, right?
Yes.
Have you all had any, I have followed along, of course, related to the Arts Commission and other work that you all have done, but have you all experienced any issues related to quorum?
A couple of times we've had to wait for people to come for quorum, and we've addressed those by saying, reaching out to people and follow. There are some guidelines within our parameters to say, if you haven't been showing up, then our staff, our ED, will reach out and say, do you really want to keep serving?
Right,
so we've addressed those, and I think part of what you're seeing is that. So many of us is that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? So 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much. Next we have Martin Sir, nominated by Councilmember Coopin.
I'm advised that Martin Sir will not be present for today's meeting. And because of the rules, that means that he will be withdrawn because this is an election, not an appointment.
So he is withdrawn. And then Hetty Weinberg was also withdrawn. So then next we have Aaron Coleman, nominated by Councilmember Gadd, which Councilmember Gadd is currently at a press conference, but I can speak on Councilmember Gadd's behalf. Thank you for being here, Aaron. Would you like a parking validation?
Sure.
Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions?
No, I don't.
So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Human Relations Commission.
Sure. So the opportunity came up in a federation meeting that we were having, actually, because Irwin is going to be rolling off the board, and it was something that has always been on my mind, to be a part of a commission or be a part of just a committee. And I've had the opportunity to be on a special committee through Jim Schulman years ago, when we did the 37208 Mass Incarceration Committee. And it was a wonderful experience trying to work through that. And I met so many people on that committee, and some of which are some of my closest friends now. And we never would have met had it not been for the committee, honestly. And I think the opportunity to be in a space like this really does jive with everything that I do on a daily basis as a criminal defense attorney, and also kind of brings in my background as a military leader. So, you know, I grew up in Frederick, Maryland, in a very, I guess, picturesque area. And the world and our world in Nashville doesn't necessarily jive with my childhood. And I know that. And I know that because of my time in the military, meeting my soldiers who came from opposite ends of the world that I did. And then everyone that I work with on a daily basis, understanding the roadblocks that they come up against, whether it's because of their criminal background or because they have a criminal charge pending, and working through that, but mostly because the roadblocks that they have that people have put up in front of them just from the get-go, whether it's homelessness, poverty, no food, schooling, or domestic abuse, and working through those, and really understand the mental health aspects that go into that. And I think that that bleeds into everything that we do and has to be taken into account in everything we do at a governmental level. We need to understand that we are not all on an equal playing field, but we need to try to make it as equal as possible when proposing new laws. It's one of the things that when I'm lobbying up at the State House for gun control, and there was a group that was proposing a law, and honestly I don't know if it even passed, but it was a law proposing that if you were found to be shooting at a mass amount of people or part of, then it was going to be a higher charge than aggravated assault, and or that you were linking to like a group. And I was like, well, that's really targeting our young people here in Nashville, because anyone can say that, well, that person was targeting someone else because of a gang relationship. And we have so many youth gangs here in Nashville that would have increased, the passage of that would have potentially increased the criminal charges that our young people are gonna or could be getting. So the people who were pushing that legislation, and again, I don't know if it passed, didn't really think about that piece of it because they don't have a criminal background. They're just thinking, well, Covenant was a mass amount of people being shot at the same time. I want to protect against that. And so do I. I mean, I have 3 children who are in school, and so I obviously want to protect them, but we also need to just make sure that we're looking at every angle of everything that we do. And I know that that's something that the Human Relations Commission does, and it's something that I think I can really I would love to be a part of, and I think I can bring a lot to the table.
Thank I'll share and speak on behalf of Councilmember Brigade. I've known Erin for years through our work in the criminal legal system and seen her involvement and care throughout the community and her understanding of the intersectionality of the issues that that Nashville and Davidson County faces on a broad spectrum, and think that she would be a good addition to MHRC. Yes. Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, any not voting. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, next we are moving to the Social Service Commission appointment of Ann Harvard for a term expiring on March 24th, 2029.
Your brain is on higher
I appreciate
education.
somebody correcting me.
I'm one that has a T taken out of my name. You have people adding R's to
Yeah.
your name, so I feel it.
Appreciate that. So, Ms. Havard, would you like a parking validation?
Yes, please.
Okay. Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes.
Okay, and do you currently serve on any other boards or commissions?
I do not.
So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Social Services Commission.
Sure. So a little bit about my background. I currently work for a national investment firm called Lafayette Square that's focused on deploying capital into overlooked communities while also improving job quality, benefits, services, and wealth building for low and moderate income workers at the companies we invest in. Before I was at Lafayette Square, I actually was in public service at the Tennessee Department of Human Services, and then before that as the Senior Policy Advisor for Economic Opportunity in the Mayor's office here under the Berry and Briley administrations. During my work, both here at Metro and then on the state and national levels, I've seen the fragmentation of the social safety net and really what that impact is on families that are simply trying to not only make paycheck to paycheck, but also build wealth. And so I think through my national and local and state experience, I've seen some of the innovations around the world and around the country that are doing just that, that are focusing on best practices in social services delivery, that are focusing on leveraging community partnerships, intergovernmental partnerships, as well as partnerships in the business community. And I would be excited to not only serve but continue working with Metro Social Services. I really enjoyed my time working with them and the Homeless Planning Council during my time in the Mayor's office.
Perfect, thank you. Anything from the committee? Seeing nothing, do we have a motion? Moved and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is an appointment to the Sustainability Advisory Committee of Matthew Taylor for a term expiring on April 15th, 2026.
Matthew Taylor.
Matthew Taylor.
Oh, well, that, well.
Matthew Taylor?
He doesn't seem to be in there right now.
Going to the administration, Brian. So since Matthew Taylor is not currently here, what is the administration's position on his appointments?
I would have to figure that out and report back to you.
We'll just make a deferral motion then.
Yeah.
I'll defer for one meeting.
Second.
Right. Moved and properly seconded for a one-meeting deferral. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. You're in favor of a one-meeting deferral.
Stephanie? Oh, good. There she is.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi.
Perfect. No, you're more than all right. I appreciate it. Okay, so this is a Sustainability Advisory Committee appointment of Stephanie Tetro for a term expiring on March 15th or March 14th, 2026. Would you like a parking validation?
Sure. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Okay. Ms. Tetro, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
I am.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions? No. Okay. So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Sustainability Advisory Committee.
Yeah, I know a few of you from the many years I spent at the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition, where I worked to help make sure that government processes were more inclusive of all Nashvillians. And since I left Turk, I've been doing a lot more work in the climate space, and especially the sort of disproportionate impacts of climate on immigrant communities, both in terms of disaster resilience and preparedness, recovery and response, as well as equitable access to the just transition and the sort of green economy. And in my current role with Unbound Philanthropy, have the opportunity to work with organizations and cities across the country who are investing in resilience, adaptation, and really, just the important role cities plays in combating climate change. So I'd be excited to serve in my own city.
Any questions from the committee?
I did. On your questionnaire, near the end, there's a question about reading, signing, and returning your acknowledgement of ethical rules, and there's no answer to that one. Do you know if you've done that?
I did. I shared it via email with the Metro staff member last week.
With somebody in the clerk's office?
On the clerk's office,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I guess I have one question on the work that you're doing today, which I find really interesting. What are some of the things that you automatically already know based on your Turk experience and now what you're doing that Metro should be thinking about or focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm very excited about the climate resilience plan that hopefully will be sort of implemented and informed by this commission. But I really think about extreme weather a lot and its impact on communities across the counties, whether that's heat and outdoor workers or, language access and warnings for disasters, and then really in rebuilding and making sure folks have access and information about federal dollars, but also that, there's an incredible opportunity for the city with recently passed federal legislation to draw down resources for climate mitigation and adaptation for low-income communities to access those dollars themselves. So I just feel like there's, a big opportunity for our city.
Did you happen to meet the woman from the Board of
Yes,
were reappointing
yes,
with Ziegler?
we were chatting
Okay, I was
about-
gonna say, I hear synergy all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Anything else from the committee? No? Okay, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next is the Tourism and Convention Commission appointment of Lisa Leclerc for a term expiring on June 30th, 2026. And would you like a parking ballot?
I have one, but thank you.
Perfect. And Ms. Leclerc, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
I am.
Okay. And do you currently serve on any other boards or commissions?
Not for Metro.
Perfect. Well, why don't you tell us about why you want to serve on the Tourism and Convention Commission?
Well, in my capacity as the president and CEO for the Greater Nashville Hospitality Association, I represent, we are the collective voice for hotels, restaurants, attractions, and the businesses that support them. And the tourism dollars that this commission oversees are generated by the hotel tax, or a portion of the hotel tax. And so I think it's really important to be engaged and involved and making sure that those dollars are well spent. And I think that, we've had record tourism in our area and gone for many, many, many years. We're feeling a little softening of that right now, so it's even more important to be paying attention to how those dollars are being spent, and more hotel rooms are opening, and so we've got to make sure there's a good balance there.
And I know that with the hospitality industry, there are a lot of, it's pretty diverse workforce, yes. And so in this capacity, would you be willing to continue to fight for equity and access in your capacity?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's intentional every day.
Any questions from the?
Just a comment, and I've been in the hotel business for 50 to 100 years someplace.
I'm 2 less than him.
And I've known Lisa a long time. I was on the board for many years, and she's done a phenomenal job. Her leadership is heavily respected within the city, the convention center, everybody else. And we're on workforce development also for hospitality, and she's a leader on that with equity in mind. So she's highly recommend Lisa, and I think everybody acknowledges that. So.
I agree. I just heard Lisa's name is synonymous with the hospitality and tourism in Nashville. When I think of that, I literally think of your face. So she's a fantastic advocate for the industry, and she's obviously got a history of success and very responsible, and with dollars, obviously very thoughtful about it. So
great, thank you.
That's what you're a model.
yeah.
Based on hospitality.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Anything else from the committee? Yes.
I asked another person this about their application. The question, have you read, signed, and returned your acknowledgement of ethical rules form? And there's no answer on your form. Do you know if you've
So
done that?
unusual. Yes, I have. Yep. And I went back with the whole application, so, yeah, all set.
Anything else? We have a motion.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you.
So much. Next is the Tourism and Convention Commission appointment of John Taylor for a term expiring on June 30th, 2026.
He's not here. We would like to defer one meeting.
Do we have a motion?
Move one meeting,
Second.
deferral of one meeting, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second.
All right, moved properly
Third.
seconded.
It's cute.
I emailed him to ask him if he was on his way, and I haven't gotten a response back, because I was checking for him out here. I didn't get the original communication, as some of you might know, because I was here a couple weeks ago, and I'll double check with him that he received it, so we'll get him here at the next one.
Thank you. All right, so it's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Okay, board and commission confirmations. Candidates in this category will be subject to a recommendation vote by the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee and confirmed by the council. So first we have the bicycle.
Vice Chair, I want to ask, this is kind of new for us to do it this way, and I kind of have a question. I said something or asked a question and sort of made a request earlier, and want to back off of that and kind of like make sure that the committee, I don't know that when I voted for that change, I saw that it was good to have that kind of 2 weeks in between, but now I'm kind of seeing the other end of it, that now we're basically voting on people that we interviewed 2 weeks ago. And I had said something earlier, like, could we have the vote from then? But really, we're voting on just, to re-refer to the committee. So I guess and I guess I'd like for us to think about, not that we need to go into a long discussion right now, but I think we need to think about, like, how we're gonna remember, yeah. And I said something about the vote, but then we started doing the referral vote. And now I'm kind of thinking, like, should we have some sort of form for us to take notes on, and one quick question, do we need to vote on these individually, or could we do like a consolidated consent kind of thing?
Agenda? Yeah.
So if I could really quickly
Yes.
to go point by, well.
Sorry, yes.
No, you're more than all right. So I think with this, so to go with the point of like a forum to like remember, I think that Director Darby would say that's what Council Connect is for us to be able to have like to have that public forum where we can sort of like type in our notes that we're taking during the course of the conversations, because for the by and large, looking at the folks that we have listed, like I remember specific people and like specific things that they said and the reasons why I voted yes on them. So I think that to your point about note taking and everything, I think it is important for us to be able to remember that, and to be able to have a discussion if there is anything else that we found subsequently. And I think that having that prior conversation on Council Connect, if there is something subsequent that we would like to ask these nominees to sort of have that discussion beforehand, so that we can make sure that the administration or whomever is asking that those people are present before the committee on the secondary vote, so that we can have that continuing discussion to decide whether or not we're going to refer them to the full floor. But yes, Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, so Johnston.
Yeah.
I just think it's really important. First of all, I wasn't in support of the, do it now and then 2 weeks later and making people come back twice and all that. I think it's because what this committee does is not say, I'm for this person and not for this person. What we're figuring out is, does this person qualify? The body decides who they're gonna support, and so it's a little bit different. So just think, a lot of times we need to remind ourselves, when I was chair of rules, that, you know, what our role is here, and do these people qualify to serve in this position? Not necessarily do we support that person, do we like that person, yada yada. It's a time to be able to ask whatever questions, and other people can come in from, you know, outside the committee. But really the question that we're answering from Rules Committee is, does this person qualify? So again, was another reason why I disagreed with making people come back twice, you know, and having this long point of going like, no, who is that again, and all this. But again, I just think it's important to point that out, what our role is.
Chair James.
And there was a lot of discussion when we were talking about the rule change as far as like what that means to determine who's qualified, like what exactly does qualified mean. I think that, you know, not to rehash that discussion, but giving us that 2-week period, so if some big brouhaha came up about a candidate, like we would know about that, you know, prior to 5 minutes before we're supposed to vote on the person. I think as far as remembering folks, that's, you know, taking your notes, you know, as they're talking, to remember, you know, the key points of what they said. I think that if we're doing the re-referral, then we're not voting on them twice. We would vote on them the second time, and I don't know if it's appropriate to do them as like a consent agenda unless there's someone that needs to be pulled off.
Go to Director Darby on for that.
I think that you could do it by a consent, make it a consent agenda and vote for them all at the same time.
I would just acknowledge the quick conversation is, I like the idea of a 2-week delay, only because in a couple cases I've heard comments at the last minute. As I follow up on the comments, they were not necessarily appropriate, or so you have a question mark and go, you know, is there something about this person I need to discover? And that 2-week discovery, and some of these people are going into some boards and commissions. And in my mind is, if we're appointing these people and we got some great experience, we need to make sure they have a little bit more time to vet them. So I'm in agreement with continuing to the way you do it.
Yeah, Councilmember Cash.
I agree with them. I think what everybody said. And I guess my only question is, if we, in the instance that we feel that they aren't qualified, should we vote not to read the, I mean, and I know I'm not asking for a definite answer to this, but just first to consider, like, if we have an issue, should we not vote to re-refer, I guess, is a question that's in my mind. Not that we need to go into it. And I think what note-taking or kind of flagging, hey, this is somebody I need to look a little deeper into, I don't know that it has to be notes or form. I was just kind of putting that out there as a possibility or just ways to consider.
Chair James.
So we had that one candidate who shall not be named, that there were several committee members that had issues, and so we voiced those issues, and we were looking at the administration like, hey, so we deferred one meeting so that they can withdraw that candidate.
Yeah. Good idea. So here's what we'll do. I am going to take up a consent agenda for this, so let me know if there's anyone that anybody feels needs to be removed from consent. So it's items 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Is there anything that you all feel needs to be removed from consent?
No, move the consent agenda.
Second.
I need to read it all into the record first. So,
You do.
Yeah. So 21, Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee appointment of KJ Garner for a term expiring on April 16th, 2026. Item number 24, Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee Advisory Commission appointment of Nathaniel McDonald for a term expiring on March 24th, 2027. 23, Board of Health reappointment of Tanae Franklin for a term expiring on July 9th, 2029. 24, Public Records Commission reappointment of Council Member Tanya Hancock for a term expiring on August 21, 2027. Item number 25, Public Records Commission appointment of Charles A. Sherrill for a term expiring on August 21st, 2027. Item number 31.
31.
Wait, what did I say?
You said 21.
Oh,
Or the one before
21.
last?
Can you do, oh yes, but August 30,
fired already,
31st, 2027. Agenda item 26, Sustainability Advisory Committee appointment of Councilmember Berkeley Allen for a term expiring on April 15th, 2026. Agenda item 27, Sustainability Advisory Committee appointment of Councilmember Dr. Sandy Ewing for a term expiring on April 15th, 2026. Item number 28, Traffic and Parking Commission appointment of Robert Gibbs for a term expiring on April 15th, 2029. Work Release Commission appointment of Jordan Cassett for a term expiring on January 1st, 2028, and Zoning Appeals Board appointment of Mina Johnson for a term expiring on April 15th, 2029. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Okay, we come now to adjournment. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Without objection, we stand adjourned.
Okay, let's go.